protesting reverend in Marquette.
Alaskan mayor found dead. Hi, I'm Amr Mansour.
And I'm Melissa Lambert, and this is Public Eye News. A Hancock man was arrested over the weekend in connection with a counterfeit money investigation. According to the Houghton Police Department, Nicholas Edwards was arrested after a local business filed a complaint of suspected counterfeit money. This launched an investigation at a residence in Hancock where a large amount of money was seized. Edwards was currently being held in Houghton County Jail on a $100,000 bond. He's set to appear for a preliminary exam on December 14th at 10 a.m. at Houghton County District Court. A reverend from downstate who officiated his daughter's same-sex marriage has set up signs and a tent in protest at the First Methodist Church in Marquette. Reverend Mike Tupper married two same-sex couples, one of which included his daughter, and says his issue is not with the church in Marquette, but the office in general. He also said that he is encouraging his denomination to change the way they view same-sex marriage during a general conference next year. The church said that they understand Tupper's cause, but want to remind everyone in the community that they are welcoming. Tupper plans on sleeping outside the church until May, when the general conference is scheduled.
An alumni from Michigan Tech has donated $2 million to his former university. Richard Heens has gifted money to his school's Department of Mechanical Engineering. Heens has already gifted $2 million to the school's physics department earlier this year. The money is expected to go towards student development and faculty positions. Heens graduated from Michigan Tech in 1948. The Central UP faces high unemployment and rising poverty levels. Much of this was discussed at a sustainability workshop held in Manistee yesterday. Advisors at the workshop stressed the need for a strategy to attract larger employers to the Central area. Two of the major setbacks are that the Central population is getting older and that the median household income has gone down. More workshops and data are expected in the next 6 months.
A group of parents at Dexter Community Schools are starting a nonprofit to raise $1 million from the community towards the district's budget. Excellence for Dexter Schools was founded in July and has a donation fund for each school building, special education, athletics, art, and music. The president of the nonprofit's board, Jennifer Kangas, said that this is a way for the parents to take control of the funding so that their kids can get the education that they want them to. The Dexter Board of Education Vice President Julie Schumacher said, quote, "What's good for our district is good for our community," end quote. And according to a report done by WDIV-TV Channel 4 News, nearly $500,000 was stolen from an armored truck in Detroit's Greektown Friday morning. The truck company opened the door for the suspect, who was dressed in a guard uniform, and he was not believed to have been armed. Rock Gaming Vice President of Communications Gail Joseph said that Greektown Casino was not the target of the alleged larceny, but the theft happened outside and near the casino. Police are investigating the allegations, and the casino is collaborating with the department to catch the thief. And stay tuned, because after the break, we'll have your national and international news.
Celtic Woman presents Destiny. Their all-new TV spectacular. Once again, bringing a little piece of Ireland into your home.
Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern.
And welcome back. Just weeks after taking office, the mayor of Alaska's capital city has been found dead. 70-year-old Mayor Stephen Fisk was found dead in his home on Monday when his son came to visit him. As investigators wait for the autopsy report, it has already been made clear this was not a suicide. Although there appear to be no signs of forced entry into his home, some suspect foul play led to his death. More information and the cause of death are expected within the next several days. And earlier this morning, President Barack Obama will wrap up his trip to the UN summit on climate change. During his time at the summit, the president has pushed other world leaders to do more to protect the environment. The fight against terrorism will also be an important topic. Don Champion reports.
As President Obama wraps up his trip to the UN Climate Summit in Paris, he's expected to meet with the leader of Turkey about ISIS. The fight against terrorism has come up before during the president's two-day trip to the summit, which is being held 2.5 weeks after the deadly terror attacks in the French capital.
We have come to Paris to show our resolve. What greater rejection of those who would tear down our world than marshaling our best efforts to save it.
On the climate front, during the summit, the president has met with leaders of the world's other top polluters. The goal, get 147 countries to reduce carbon emissions enough to keep global warming below 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the level some scientists believe would prevent natural disasters like floods and droughts.
This is how we're going to solve this challenge, together. And that's at the heart of what we're trying to accomplish here in Paris.
Heavy smog in Beijing today is a sign of the hard work still needed. It looks like nighttime in this video, but it's the middle of the day in the city's business district. Schools in the Chinese capital were ordered to keep students indoors as today's record-breaking air pollution soared 35 times government-regulated safety levels. Don Champion, CBS News.
Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel fired the police superintendent Tuesday upon the court-ordered release of a dash cam video in the Laquan McDonald case. At a news conference, Emanuel announced Gary McCarthy's dismissal, who days ago told reporters that the mayor supported him. Emanuel recognized that the public's trust in the police had diminished and that it was time for new leadership. Many protesters have been seeking for his dismissal in response to how the department handled the death of McDonald back in October of 2014. The mayor said he wants the next chief to restore trust between the police and the community. And the 1st of December is covered with snow for millions who live in the Midwest and Northern Plains. A storm dumped record snowfall in the Dakotas and Iowa and making a mess of travel from Sioux Falls to the Twin Cities. CBS's David Begnaud has the latest from Minneapolis.
It has been an uphill battle for drivers across the Midwest as a powerful blast of winter weather made a mess of the roads from Nebraska to North Dakota. In Minnesota last night, a wave of snow barreled its way through the Twin Cities, blanketing the streets during evening rush hour. Nearly 400 accidents were reported statewide. At least one person was killed. Dozens more were injured.
Way too snowy for us to continue on the highway. My eyes needed a rest.
It was a similar scene in Iowa, where this car flipped over. Parts of Nebraska saw record amounts of snow. This video was taken from inside of a plane landing in Omaha. You can see the whiteout conditions. At the height of the storm, the city temporarily suspended police responses to minor accidents. In South Dakota, they set records for snowfall. Nearly 9 inches fell in Sioux Falls. If you live in Iowa or Wisconsin, it's going to be a snowy day today. If you live in North Dakota and South Dakota, you might see up to a foot of snow over the next 24 hours. David Begnaud, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Nearly a dozen boats carrying dead bodies have been found by Japanese authorities. The wooden boats came off the northwestern coast, hinting the bodies may have come from North Korea. In the past, boats have been found carrying the bodies of North Korean fishermen who are trying to escape to South Korea. The bodies have been found decomposed, making autopsies difficult to attempt. However, Japanese authorities plan to investigate the incident, which has been carried out over the past few months. And Israeli troops killed 2 Palestinians today in the West Bank. According to Israeli forces, the 2 individuals were attempting to carry out stabbing attacks. The attacks are another wave of violence occurring in Israel since September. The violence is centered around clashes over the holy site of Jerusalem. Violence even exists in schools which attempt to integrate Israelis and Palestinians through programs like Hebrew-Arabic classes. And after the break, we'll be back with your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
George Paris takes New York City by storm in his first ever music special for public television. This captivating young artist embarks on an inspiring musical journey in 3 languages and takes all of us along for the ride.
Join us Wednesday evening at 10.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Douglas Hardy with your Public Eye News weather. And if you look behind me at the Academic Mall, you can see that it's kind of a gray day. There's a little bit of snow on the ground and some people wandering around, but mostly there's not much happening. If you look up in the sky, it's pretty gray. Today there's light snow, a temperature of 35, and winds east-northeast at 2 miles an hour. The barometric pressure is 29.71 inches and falling. Tonight, there will be snow showers with a low of 28 and winds southwest at 6 miles an hour. And finally, tomorrow it will be mostly sunny with a high of 38 and winds west-northwest at 4 miles an hour. Looking around the UP, we can see that Sault Ste. Marie is 36 and experiencing a wintry mix. Manistee is 40 and cloudy. Escanaba is 41 and cloudy, as is Menominee. Iron Mountain is 37 and cloudy, and Ironwood is 35 and cloudy. Houghton is 34 and snowy, and back here in Marquette, it's 35 and lightly snowing. Looking ahead, we can see that Thursday, there's a high of 38 and a low of 27, partially sunny. Friday, there's a high of 41, a low of 30, also sunny. And finally, Saturday, there's a high of 43 and a low of 33, mostly sunny. So it looks like there's some hope at the end of this week. I hear there was some hope for Detroit as well.
Yeah, they had the hot hand on Monday night as they won. You might have gotten lost in an endless parade of free throws, but Monday night proved to be something important for the Detroit Pistons. When they hit jump shots, they win. At times, it is really simple. The Pistons shot 53% from the floor in a 116-105 win over the Houston Rockets, including 35% on three-pointers. They were spectacular in the first half, scoring 64 points, struggled in the third quarter, but finished the game with a 32-point fourth. Pistons coach Stan Van Gundy was pleased with the win, saying, quote, "We played great offense all night. We played great defense in the first half, but we didn't play much defense in the second half. But we closed out the win, and I'll take that," end quote. The Pistons' next game will be against the Phoenix Suns tomorrow night at the Palace. With the Golden State Warriors now 19-0 after 106-103 edging of the Utah Jazz, a victorious Stephen Curry and Draymond Green gathered themselves at neighboring lockers. That was fitting after a victory that might well have been the Warriors' most difficult. They were playing with an attitude, without Harrison Barnes and Curry battling a sinus illness against a Jazz team that seeks to garble the game's rhythm. Sinus illness or not, in the end, Chef Curry chefed up a victory, and Draymond Green kept the kitchen clean with a big rebound in the fourth to pave the Warriors' road to victory. The Warriors have only taken one game into overtime all season, and the future looks bright for the reigning NBA champs. How did new Carolina Panthers cornerback Cortland Finnegan stay in shape after his 7-month semi-retirement from the NFL? He actually picked up his basketball game a bit, but Carolina didn't lure the 31-year-old Finnegan out of retirement because of his jump shot. They brought him back here to add depth at the cornerback with starter Charles Tillman out indefinitely with a hyperextended knee. Nickel corner Bené Benwilker has replaced Tillman at the past 2 games, meaning Colin Jones has stepped into the Benwilker's role. Having announced his retirement in March, Finnegan never turned in his retirement papers, leaving the option open for return. The 11-0 Panthers travel to Bourbon Street this weekend to take on the Saints.
So, well, what's going on? Like, it seems like a baby's super tired and Christmas is around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
6-year-old Zeke Walters fell asleep while waiting to have his picture taken with Santa. And when his dad placed Zeke on Santa's lap, Zeke was still sleeping. So Santa did the only natural thing and posed sleeping too. The adorable picture has found its way online and has already over 370,000 likes. All right, guys, so Zeke may have fell asleep, but what do you want for Christmas, Will?
Nap time.
You want nap time? It's college and we're all tired. Doug, what do you want?
Probably money and so I can go on some good vacation.
You're all saying what college kids need. Alyssa, say something unique.
New shoes.
Okay, well that's all the time we have for our Public Eye News. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.